Okay, so today's webinar is dedicated using the TILOS or TILOS in high-rise building projects. So for those who is new to this topic, I'd like to give first just a short information about the TILOS and who is a linear project. First of all, linear project is a German TILOS. It's a German-based program, and however, it's been acquired by Trimble in the beginning of the 2015. It's in the market more than 20 years. Well, for now, TILOS is available in more than 10 languages, and top of the 10 major European companies actually using the TILOS for their construction, for their projects actually. Well, we have here on the left side top 10 construction companies in Germany who are using the TILOS, and 9 out of the 10 companies are using the TILOS for their needs. On the right side, we're seeing that the world's 200 largest construction companies who are using the TILOS. Most probably one of you guys are already using the TILOS, or your company is using the TILOS. So we have beside the Germany or Europe, we have the Asia customer map. You can see we have in Singapore, in Pakistan, for instance, in China or India, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Korea. A lot of companies, quite big companies, are using the TILOS for their projects. In Europe and the Middle East, I can see that we have a lot of attendees from Saudi Arabia, so we can see that we have some clients or customers who are using the TILOS as well, like Bombardier for the Metro Riyadh, Saudi Bin Laden Group, Wally Parsons. In the Qatar also, we have Ali CG Parsons, QDVG. So this is the short introduction about the client base. So let's switch to the linear project characteristics. When we are talking about the linear project characteristics, we are taking into consideration that first of all, it has a row. So it has a row and axis where the works are actually performing. Where we can see this? We can see this in the pipeline, railway, highway, engineering, transmission, or tunneling, or high-rise building projects. So mostly it contains the repetitive activities, and well, our goal is here to optimize the productivity rate, reduce the project duration, visualization of the project data, and reducing the overall cost. So in which industry actually we can implement the TILOS? We can implement the TILOS in transmission line, pipeline projects, in highway, road, bridges projects, high-rise building projects, railway project, metro and tunnel projects. So our webinar is dedicated to the high-rise building projects. I'll be more focused on the high-rise building projects. So we can use the TILOS at any stage, any project stage. It can be in the feasibility studies, overall plan, production plans, special studies. It can be used for pre-design, planning, procurement, execution, or for the claim analysis. And it can be owned by the contractors, subcontractors, owners, any engineering companies. Well, I'd like to give some advantages and disadvantages actually regarding using the standard Gantt chart diagram, let's say. So as you can see on my screen, we have a Gantt chart view. Well, I would like to admit that it's very good, where we can see each activities on this separate line, also the data spreadsheet for the detailed information, good display of the links and the critical paths, direct relations to the time axis, so we can use actually our tasks are on a time axis. Very good, and it's the most popular display in the project planning. However, I would like to say that we don't have any visual relation to the location of the task or activities, and when we are having the large project charts, like it's kind of confusing, it's unclear sometimes, and we are printing a lot of papers. So by this way, I would like to say that the TILOS gives us opportunity to see what is built, when, and where. So as you can see, we have a report on Primavera P6. It's 40 pages, and we have the same report in one page. So in this case, we have a time axis and a distance axis, and we are able to see what is built when and where. So this is a short, like say, distinguishing information, how we can distinguish our TILOS, what is the best way in order to use the TILOS. So we can see here the standard traditional Gantt chart, like we can see it in Primavera P6, Microsoft project, or Astapro project, where we have only one axis, which is the time. However, in TILOS we use a two axis, which is the time and the distance. So in this case, we have a distance as a floor levels, for instance, over here, and the time here. So all our activities are in the middle. So actually, how the TILOS works for the high-rise building project, we have on the left side we have a location, and on the top we have a time. So as you can see, like we'll start the first project, but first activities. But before it, I'd like to say that what we can see here on the location. On location, we are able to set up our floors, the number of the floors and the distance, and the meters, for instance, on which meter in which floor is starting. So we have first activities, and we can say the first activity is starting in January, and it starts from the baseline or the base level, and it will take us 2.5 months in order to complete it until the second floor starts. So the same, we are going to the next activities, and we are able to see that this activity will take us the 5.5 months. So it will start from the base level 1 or 0, and it will finish until the second floor starts. So all our activities are going up this way. So as we know the structure of the construction of the high-rise buildings, we're starting from the 0 level and going up. So besides that, TILOS has a quite good data exchange models, such as we are able to get the necessary data from the Excel or the copying from the clipboard. Also, it has the integration with the Primavera P6, Astapro project, and Microsoft project as well. Well, I'll switch to the live demonstration now. Okay. All right. So I'll show you the project which we'll be working on. Well, we'll be creating the some of the activities in order to see it. So what we can see in this project, we have drawings, the quite graphical illustration. These drawings we can get these drawings from the CAD, so it can automatically get the drawings from the CAD files or JPEG or any PNG JPEG files, so we can get it. As you can see, it is all simulated. We can see that this is a high-rise building and this is a 280 meters building. So each floors are divided. So for those who are familiar with TILOS, usually we have a distance on the top and the time axis on the left side or the right side, but in this case we are using the vice versa. So we'll have a distance axis on the right side and the time axis on the top of the spreadsheet. Okay. So let's start with creating our first activities. In order to create the first activities, for those who are familiar, it's very easy. For those who are not, we have here the insert the task button. So in this case, I would like to insert just first, let's say, the start milestone. So we can say that our milestone will start in January, let's say in January. So by clicking to the task, we have here the quick navigation bar where the time and the distance, the duration is very important. So in this case, I would like to have from the 0 until the 300. So we'll use it until all along our project. So I have just inserted the milestone, and the time of the start of the milestone, let's say it will start in January, the last day of the January, 31st of the January. Okay, right now we have inserted our milestone. Let's switch to the structure works, for instance. We'll do the same. We are adding the activity and we go to the superstructure works. So once I have selected the superstructure works, I have to draw my superstructure. So I'll start drawing my superstructure. Let's say we will go until the 12th floor. Okay. So beside the information that we have, what is the name of this activity, when is the start and the finish date, we're also able to display the information. For instance, what we can see. We can see that this is the name of this activity, is a superstructure activity. We can see the task ID. If it has some work breakdown structure, it's also possible to indicate it. So we are choosing which calendar it's using. Otherwise, the TILOS has various options on the calendars. We are also able to create our own calendar if it's required. The categories and the structure, display options. So in the display options, we are able to edit our task to give a cosmetic works, let's say. Well, on the coordinates, we have the duration information. We have a start and end date. Then we have a coordinate start distance and the end distance, also as well as the length. When we go to the calculation point, we are able to see that we are calculating right now the duration, and the duration is right now showing our as a 76 days. We are able to change it to the 50 days, however we would like. So also there is a links and constraints. We'll be linking our activities later on. We can also show the floats. We can also show our allocation, the resources planned and actual, also the cost information, if it's required, the progress, and the rest. So let's move to the calculation point. Besides that, we have several methods in order to calculate our task. So in this case, let's say we'll choose the duration, and I would like to have, for instance, the quantity of 45,000, but not meter cubics, but in this case, we'll use units. So units, enter it, and we have a work rate. We have a planned work rate, for instance, as 500 units per hour. So we can see that our activity right now switched, and it will take only 11 days. So we are not able to change it here. If we choose, for instance, the 300, TILOS automatically calculates the duration of the activity as 19 days. We'll use as a 200. As you can see, it's changed. Duration right now changed for the 28 days. But beside the calculating duration, we are able also to calculate the productivity rate by the productivity rate. So what I will do here, I'll go to my distance profiles, and I have a level productivity rate. If I'll double click on the level productivity rate, I have here my information regarding the distance, the name, productivity per hour, and speed, quantity, and the work rate information. So this information we can get from the Excel. So for each level, we have our own distance information and the productivity rate. So we can see that this is the first. So on the 50 meters, we have a productivity rate is 1. On 100 meters as a 1.3, and 150 we have a 3. Okay, so what we do in this case, we click on our task. Then we set up, we have to calculate our duration according to the data profile. So what we choose here, we choose the duration from data profile. And the profile, we have to choose which profile are we going to use. In this case, I would like to use our level productivity rate because the tile is getting information from there. So once I have selected, I would like to set the quantity as a task length, and I will use here the profile data information. And I would like to create not the absolute work rate, but the productivity level. So as you can see, my task changed. Just a second. Okay, my task changed. I would like to put the quantity factor as a 1. So right now, what we can see is the difference. While I'm increasing and I'm going up, we're able to see that we have not just a straight line, but our line getting some kind of curve. So by this way, we can see that on which level our productivity rate changed and our task also changed. So by this way, we are able to calculate the duration and the quantity and the work rate as well, that it indicates it, and it will take that 79 days in order to complete it. So I would like to go forward until the 150 meters in this case. If I'll zoom out, we're able to see it. Okay, so the next option, like we are able to see it from here, but if I'll go to the Gantt chart, here our superstructure activities. If I'll go here, and then I'll take the horizontal. So what I would like to say that TILOS has a Gantt chart. So for those who are not familiar with it, I would like to show the difference. So while we are changing our activity on our time location diagram, it is also changing on our Gantt chart. So the same way, if I'm changing my activity on the Gantt chart as a time base, it's also changed on my time location screen. Same way. Okay, so we have created our first activities, which is until the 100 meters, and we would like to create my second activity. What I would like to say will be electricity works. So I'm creating my electricity works. Let's say I'll create it from the base level 1. Then we have a first floor, and the second floor, and so on, let's say. Okay, so we can see it right here. So I'm also available to link them, so we can link them. Now I have linked them, and I'm pressing the reschedule button, and you can see my activities are right now going right on the way. So the method of the linking, the relationship is finish to start relationship. That's why it's showing. When we go to the Gantt chart, we can see that it's in a standard way. In the Gantt chart, we can see that it is divided here, but we don't have any information on the location point. However, we are able to see the information about the location on our time location diagram. Well, it is possible, of course, to create the repetitive activities. As you know, we are using repetitive activities in all linear projects. So in this case, I would like to create a repetitive task. We'll use electricity works. We can use the duration, but I would like to get the repeat options from the distance profile. And in this case, I will use my profile information as a first profile. So what we have here, it is we have a distance, we have a name, we have a description, the type, but the type is not important in this case. Most important is the distance and the name. So each floor we have a distance, the same information I have on my Excel. So we can import it from the Excel as well. Okay, so I would like to have a task between, and I will use so I would like to start from the 0 until the 100 meters, let's say. Then we can link them, the method of the linking. We can link the task, and the task creation names we can use from the profile name. So let's see what the TILOS will give us. Okay, so we have another curve of activities. As you can see right now, it's created until the 100 meters. All activities are separated. Besides that, it is already, we have allocated the resource information. We're also able to import the cost information. So let's say I'd like to have to start this one as a link to the superstructure, start to start, with the linking relationship start to start, and we can able to give the lag. For instance, I would like to give a lag of 30 days. Okay, once I have rescheduled my activity, I'm able to see it. But in this case, I would like to go back and delete this one. Like this, or say the 30 days. Now, so right now we can see that we have two activities on our time location diagram. And the first, it has a relation with electricity works as a start to start. However, between the floors, all the electricity works, we are able to see that this is the start to finish relationship. On our high-rise, on our Gantt chart view, we are able to see that this is right now displaying in this way. It has information about the floor, but still it's not what we are looking for. Let me add another activity, which for instance will use the plumbing works. Let's say plumbing works. We're taking the same information from the distance profile, and we use this profile information. Then it will have the same start and end distance. So once I click OK, we can see it brought us our plumbing works. So what I would like to do is I would like to use this, link them, and give the duration, for instance, as 20 days lag. Okay. So now we can see that our second activity is already created. This is not if our first task, as superstructure task, has a one line. This activities has information for each floor. So it's floor-based information, and it's divided and separated. We can change the duration of it as well. So once we change the duration of it, if we reschedule, the rest of our activities is automatically going to be rescheduled. Okay, so as a TILOS, beside the only Gantt chart and the time location view, we are able to see as a Excel based view. So So we can see we have all information about our activity. Besides that, we can also have a filter on it, and we are able to filter it regarding the base. For instance, we have a bay here, all information of the start and end, distance information. If we have a quantity inserted, we have a quantity. If we have a work rate. So let me switch on right now and show you what is actually the high-rise building, the finished project. So I'll switch in. Okay. So what we have here, we have a base. You know the information about the base, which activity is this. So we can see that this is a structure core wall, and the second activity is structure outside the core wall, architectural works, and so on. So besides the linear activities, we are also able to show a structural work. Let's say not which are the activities which are based only on the time axis. So for instance, some logistical works where the distance is not important, however we have to show it, so we are using them as a time based, so we know when it's supposed to be done. So this information, for instance, as well as procurement works, we can show them below. So what we have here, we have some procurement works. These are not related to the location, however it's related to the time, so, but we are able to show them in our project as well. So right now let me go and switch on to the output of our project. Let's say we have here Hong Kong skyscraper. This is what we have. So beside the time and location, time axis and the location axis information, we are able to show some information regarding our resource information. So we are able to see who and where are going to work during this time of during this moment. So we can see the numbers of allocated resources, which are based on the time. Also, we're able to put them based on the location. So we can see the assistant, the foreman, operator, and information based on the location. However, they're also available to indicate in one layout, let's say one report, our labor hours. So this is our labor hours, labor information, the concrete and the steel, for instance, because this is one of the most used materials. So this is the information what we have. Besides that, we can also display the cost and income, and if we require the cash flow as well. So what we entered here, we have a company details and the project details, which we can also the logo of the company. On the time axis, we are also able to put our cash flow, so we can see the payments and the cost up to date, and have a S-curve. So, and the legend. So the legend helps us in order to differentiate which activity is this. For instance, it's a bay, so it's a structural activities. For instance, this is a bay information, so it's the same. The structure, civil works, all the legend is available to display. Another example, what we have here is another building in Germany. So this is a 21-meter, let's say, building. So what we have here is we have the integrated floor plan. So this is the floor plan. Then we have a superstructure works. So this is the yellow one is the superstructure works. This green line is the data date. Then, for instance, we have the red one is cladding activity, and interior works counts as a green. So this is a sample report what you can achieve in TILOS. Do you have any questions until now? Okay. So this is almost pretty much it of it. However, one more thing I would like to say is for those who are in Qatar, in Doha, would like to invite you to the conference which will be held on the 8th of December in Copteron Hotel, and our title of the conference will be the Project Visualization, BIM and Linear Planning. So it is the FND and CMCS Qatar, which is the local representative in Qatar, who would like to invite you to this conference. We'll have a lot of useful information which will help you in your future career or for the project development. Okay. So this is much to it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. If you'll require more detailed information, we are able to have one-to-one webinar. So thank you very much.